Hello and welcome back to the Bad Movie Reviews channel, hosted by your two favourite Aussie blokes, also looking to belong. Okay, we haven't found anything except deep dark depression, and that's about it. Moving on, we are reviewing a film that's kind of come out of nowhere. To be fair, I saw a trailer for it a couple months ago, and it's released today, which is JOYRIDE, which is directed by Adele Lim. First picture or directorial debut, I should say, but previously has written Raya and the Last Dragon, which is a Disney film which we both loved. Wrote the screenplay for Crazy Rich Asians, which I actually really enjoyed. I'm not too sure if you've seen it, but directorial debut, and also wrote the film. To kind of keep the plot as basic as possible, it's about a woman who was adopted, and then essentially going for a job and kind of looking for the truth of what it means, I guess, who you are, and traveling through Asia and
trying to find themselves.
Yeah. But it is, in saying that, it's all about a film about belonging, but it is a very, very raunchy comedy at the same time. So tell me what you think, because there's a lot to unpack here in terms of overall as a film. But
Short, sharp, and sweet to start it off. I thought this film was great. An absolute pure great time of enjoyment, good laughs, and just a great time. It was very well written, and it was very creative and unique to its own too, which was really enjoyable about this film. I haven't seen too many that follow this kind of format. Or we've seen similar formats, but not this exact one itself. And it was very unique, and it was pretty down to earth, and it had a lot more to it than I thought, a lot more depth. Sometimes with some raunchy comedies, other than No Hard Feelings we watched recently, I do find that sometimes they do struggle for depth or character development, or sometimes finding the emotional side of things. And it actually had a lot of those strengths in this film. It had the emotional swings. There was a lot of growth in the very short term of this film. It was funny. It was hilarious. It was well acted by everyone in particular. And the person who plays Deadeye, no idea, can't remember the name off the top of my head.
Sabrina Wu plays Deadeye. Yeah,
absolutely fantastic.
Still seen her.
Oh,
still seen.
Just what a greatly designed character, well written, well acted, and it was exactly what this film needed, which was kind of like this. There's a lot of serious stuff that's going on sometimes, and it was a nice lighthearted take, but it didn't draw away from the film to the point of where she was used as just comic relief. She actually created depth to like every scene and all development, and it was, I thought she acted phenomenal. Actually, so did everyone else altogether. It was beautifully shot. The cinematography was fantastic. The audio design was on point. I wouldn't say it was kind of standout per se, but I don't think it's the kind of film where standout audio design needs to be there. But everything it did well, which you definitely props for on this one. But it's just a great time. I've probably said this in a lot of reviews too, but anyone that's watched any of our previous stuff, I don't laugh much even at things I find hilarious, and this got a few giggles out of me. So some extra points there for that one. But I don't even know where to go from here. This was just great. This is enjoyable. This is something I would watch for every year just for a good time. Like, it comes on, I'm sitting down, pulling up some pop, I'm going to have a great time. I would recommend this to pretty much everyone. I don't know what your take on it, but I'd love to hear your thoughts on this film, because I'm stumbling for words other than it was really great and enjoyable and quite creative.
No, I had possibly, I don't think it's the best film I've seen all year, but I think I've had the best time in the cinema all year. It is just a genuine great time. I knew I was going to enjoy it when within probably 2 minutes of the film, Daniel is laughing, which, as we've touched on, never happens. And when I look to, grab a bit of pop and I look to the left and Daniel's giggling, I know something's happening that,
it's a pretty good
I know
film.
tectonic plates have shifted in the Earth's atmosphere, basically. So something's happening.
Anyway.
But no, I the whole time I was grinning ear to ear. And when you watch one of these films, and you come out and your cheeks are hurting, it's a good sign. It does everything right. I thought the director Adele Lim did a great job. There's it's a very basic film in terms of obviously the plot, not so much the plot, but in terms of how it's directed. It's obviously not out there to win any Oscars like, you know, your Oppenheimer or, you know, your Dune or anything. Like, it's not some spectacle to be seen on the cinema by any means, but she did a great job in terms of writing the characters. They are written so well, and there are some creative choices in here as well, which I really enjoyed. And there are a few like things here and there, which I'm just like, yeah, that's awesome. Like, just the creative choices and the editing. It is a hour and a half long film, but it just kept moving, and it never felt like it's overstayed its welcome or it was too short. In terms of the comedy, I actually say this similar to horror films, and you kind of touched on it a little bit. No Hard Feelings did it a little bit. With the comedy and horror, they're probably the two genres I relate to this, where you watch a horror film and there can be scares and you can get scared, but it might not necessarily mean it's a good movie.
Yeah.
And similar with comedy, you might have your laughs but it just might not necessarily be good by any means. What I think what makes those kind of genres excel is when there are deeper meanings and there are deeper themes playing part in it. And as we talked about, this is, you know, 4 Asian American friends basically who, Aubrey, I think the character, Audrey, sorry, who's played by Ashley Park, which I thought she was fantastic, is kind of the titular character who's going for a job promotion in China and, you know, trying to find her adoptive mother, her birth mother. But each character had their own arc and progression, and there were a lot of laughs in here, but overall, like the film really at the core is all about friendship, belonging, you know, finding yourself, which I think everyone can get around. And I think that's what makes it actually a really good movie rather than just a funny
Relatable.
movie. And it's like everyone can relate to it, which I really enjoyed. So I don't really have anything else to say in that sort of degree. I think it just made the film excel. The 4 characters in Stephanie Hsu, obviously we've seen in Everything Everywhere. She was fantastic. Sabrina Wu, Sherry Cola, and Ashley Park, who I said, they really kind of carry the movie in their friendship. They have great chemistry, and I think it really makes the whole film work. And I really beg kind of everyone to see a film like this, because it's probably not the one that's going to make, you know, $200+ million at all. But I think everyone, as you said, will enjoy it.
Yeah.
Like, they'll get laughs. And as soon as a raunchy comedy actually makes me a little bit emotional and didn't necessarily make me cry, but get a bit of goosebumps. And
yeah, there was some tough moments.
There were some tough moments. I got to give you props. Like, they really balanced that tone well between the deeper meanings, the comedy, all that aspect. And I thought it was genuinely a really, really good time, and I can't really fault it. As I said, it's probably one of the funniest times I've had in the cinema this year. In general, an hour and a half long comedy that made me laugh, that made me, that evoked emotion, that made me feel like, fuck, I need to belong somewhere, you know what I'm saying? And that's where you guys come in. So
that was cute.
Yeah, thanks, guys. But other than that, I please beg you to see it. I really want this film to win at the box office, and I know it's already getting reviewed quite well and perceived pretty positive reactions. So please support films like this, because they deserve it, and it means we're going to get more of them, which is never a bad thing by any means. But if you have seen it, or you haven't got anything else to add?
No, I got nothing extra add on top of that. It was fantastic.
Yeah, great time. If you have seen it, let us know what you think below, and subscribe for more, and we'll catch you next week.
Thanks, guys.